Hello, I am live. Welcome to Cold Press Conversations. This is the podcast that has an opportunity to amplify the voices of medical and health science professionals. However, what they're doing, they are giving you insight as to how you, as a person here on this earth for community health, they're going to teach you more about who you are, what our body does, learn more about the community. That's the reason why I have Cold Press Conversations. I'm just elated to have you here. I really am. This is an exciting time. I thought I'd try something new today. You heard me. Going live with Cold Press Conversations. Just to give a little insight, I am your host, Dr. Jewel White Williams. I have a doctorate in health sciences, focusing on clinicians as well as higher education. And I want to say welcome to you, those of you who are on Facebook and LinkedIn. First time on LinkedIn. I think I love the LinkedIn part. So before I go any further, I just want to say welcome once again to Cold Press Conversations. And we're getting ready to get started. You're listening to Cold Press Conversations with Dr. Jewel White Williams, a lover of numbers, lists, and a good glass of cold press juice, who is sharing episodes each week to help you explore the back end of healthcare and health sciences. A lot of that grit is done. We'll dive into topics covering research, education, and clinical practices, as well as guest shows with other leaders in the field. Pull up a seat and let's dive into these amazing and game-changing conversations. Hello, and welcome once again to Cold Press Conversations. This is episode 27. I am elated to have you with me. There's so much that I would love to share with you today, but once again, my name is Dr. Jewel White Williams. I have a doctorate in health sciences, and I am entering us into season 2. Season 2 is going to be so valuable to everyone out here in the community. My intention is to help the community with their health. You've got it. I want to reach the audience and let them know more about their health through experts, and to also give a little insight from my point of view so that you can learn more about you and how you can promote well-being for yourself. So before I go any further, if you had any clue of what I was doing last week was just a generalized open view of what Cold Press Conversations does and how we reach out to our audience. But I do want to let you know that I am focusing on 5 key terms for this particular season. This particular season, I am focusing on the whole patient. I'm going to have approximately, for this episode, just to give you a little insight, I will have 6 people that I will be focusing on for today, because there will be our first 6 persons of medical and health science that actually focus on whole health. Every single person that I have focuses on whole health, however, and the whole patient. However, the way that they come across with it and talk to us about it is a little different. And the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because I really and truly want to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our community. Because as you know, that we have health professionals, we have our community health centers, we have hospitals, we have our EMS workers, we have doctors, CNAs, NPs, PAs, dentists, therapists, and I can go on with all of the community members who make up who we are. But I think it's important that we understand various key terms. I know during the summer, I focused on summer wellness. And this is the weekend that we're going to be closing out, because it is a holiday weekend, and where even though officially it is not the end of summer, because it's in mid-September, it is considered one of the most official times of ending summer because of the Labor Day weekend. And so many people are starting to wrap up things. School's going to get started in many places. And that's when people almost consider this time as their beginning of their year. So before I go on any further, I want to give you 5 key terms that I will be focusing on for this season. Okay. And these 5 terms are to help you understand that as I go through all of the episodes for this particular season, that it's a way that you, and we all should be patients, okay? We all should be a patient, but it gives us an opportunity to take an opportunity to consider who we are and how we look at things holistically. And what do some of the things mean when we're out in the world, in the community, and as a patient, what does it mean to us? So I thought that one of the key terms, especially being that we are here entering September, and many students and even adults are going for their maintenance checkup, um, their wellness checks. We're talking about preventive care. So that is my first term. When we speak of preventative care, it means that we are looking at the steps that you take to stay healthy, like regular checkups, screenings, and vaccines. When we do this, it's important because it's preventive care. It allows us to take action to stay healthy and avoid a more serious health issue that can occur down the road. So, that is one of the key terms that I would like to keep in our pocket as we move on for this season of Cold Press Conversations. When we look at our next word is holistic care. We're looking at the whole person. We're talking about the body, the mind, the spirit, and emotions. That's taking care of our health. When we understand that everything in life is connected to the body, mind, spirit, and emotions, then we can definitely see how different treatments work together to make us feel better overall. And that is what holistic care is when we look at the whole person. We're not just looking at the body, we're not just looking at the spirit, we're not looking at just the mind and our emotions. We're looking at all of it together, ensuring that we are all interconnected. That's what makes us in our life. Patient-centered care. It's a model. It's a care model. And it focuses on the preferences that you have. It focuses on your personal needs, on your personal values, so that they're at the center of where you are, because we want to ensure that your voice guides all medical decisions. Doctors listen to you, may not agree, but they have the background. And one of the things that I learned as a caregiver is that when we look holistically at the whole health and we voice our concerns, then maybe there can be an even medium of meeting the needs of our personal health or even for those of us who are around us. The next term that I would like to speak of is, and I like this one, y'all. I really do. It's called resiliency. It's the ability to bounce back from challenges, whether it's an illness, life changes, or tough situations. When one builds resiliency, it is a key to staying strong, both with the body and the mind, and allows you to handle whatever is thrown your way. Resiliency is something that takes time. It's not something that just happens. It really isn't. So it's something that one has to build up toward. All right. So those are the 5 key terms that I have, or 4 key terms that I have for you. But the fifth one is the one that this one is the one that I believe is what when we take care of ourselves, allows us to build the team that we know that's going to allow us to have the preventive care, patient centeredness, and help us build that resiliency. And it's called the interdisciplinary team. A lot of physician offices are building interdisciplinary teams. That means these are health professionals from different areas: doctors, dentists, therapists, counselors. We can think of all of them. And they work together to take care of you. Do you know when you go into your physician's office, they always ask, when is your last dental visit? You know, they want to know. Or when was the last time you had a mammogram? Have you seen your cardiologist? Do you have your neurologist? I know you have diabetes. So, did you go see your endocrinologist today or within the last few months? That is your interdisciplinary team. And that's one key thing that I love about this is because we're all looking at the whole person. And that whole person, the centered person, is looking collectively. We're looking collectively, making sure that we are meeting the needs of those we love. Because when we care for ourselves, our loved ones are cared for. All right. So before I go any further, I do want to review the 5 key terms just briefly, and then we'll come back. Holistic care, patient-centered care, interdisciplinary team, preventive care, and resiliency. Now, this season is made up of 3 sections. It's made up of the whole patient, which is still going to be throughout the entire season because everything's about the whole patient. I want to make sure that we're looking at our community, the whole community. Kind of like the interdisciplinary team. I'm helping you understand how to build one. But I'm also looking at health education so that it's a path that we all become whole as a community. And then I'm going to shift a little bit about the community impact of family health. So let me go ahead and just give you, you know what? I know you're wondering who is going to be. So what I've decided, I'm not going to give you every single person who's on the season quite yet. I'm going to give you just a few people just to give you a little insight. I do have, here we go. Beginning next week. All right, beginning next week, I am so elated that we're going to have someone who is going to give us a little insight of who we are. Beginning on September 4th, we're going to have Dr. Michael Sonick. He is with dentistry and patient wellness. Let me go ahead and pop him up to the stage so you can see him. There you go. You got it. Dr. Michael Sonick. He is with dentistry and whole health wellness. I am very elated that he is going to be with us for Cold Press Conversations. He will be coming out on September 4th. He has a wealth of information. Let me tell you, the information that he gave is incredible. Just to give you a little insight about who he is internationally known, highly regarded authority in the field of dental implantology and periodontology. He is a full-time practicing periodontist in Connecticut, and he is very frequent in his guest lectures in the international program at New York University School of Dentistry and the University of Connecticut School of Dental Medicine. He is an author of Treating People, Not Patients. He's a co-editor of the multi-language textbook, Implant Site Development. His mission is to improve the quality of patients' lives as well as the lives of everyone he meets. Yes, this is Dr. Michael Sonick. Told you, I'm elated to have him. Elated to have him. The next person that we will have, and this individual will give us quite a bit of information in regards to EMS. All right, y'all, I've got to tell you, I'm going to get my EMS in there. I got to find my firefighter. I haven't got my firefighter yet. I'm looking for them. However, what I want to do is let you know that for September, what I want to do is focus on her name is Dr. Megan Corry. She is, she has her doctorate in education and she is a practicing paramedic. She's with the Emergency Medical Services and Education. And I am very pleased to share her with you today. Dr. Megan Corry is someone I think you guys are going to just love. And yes, you heard it. I do have her for 2. I have her for 2 specific showings because our interview, we've known each other for a little over time while I was getting my doctorate. And she serves on the board of advisors for the UCLA Pre-Hospital Care Research Forum and as a site visitor for the Committee on Accreditation and Educational Programs for the EMS professions. Her research interests and projects include pre-hospital assessment and treatment of patients with acute neurologic emergencies and translational research of initial paramedic education. She is the program director and full-time faculty member for the City College of San Francisco paramedic program. So this is Dr. Megan Corry. I'm very pleased to state that she will be with us for, I told you, I'm just elated to have my guest that I have. Um, I'm going to have her on September. There we go. I have Feinberg. He is an incredible person. His You know what? I gained so much insight when talking to him. His knowledge base, of course, is outstanding. Dr. Feinberg, he is a graduate of Tufts University. He has practiced dentistry for over 40 years, initially in Scarsdale, New York, and now um, in Arizona. And he was trained by his father, y'all, Dr. Elliot Feinberg. He is a pioneer of full coverage restorative dentistry and continues to this legacy with documented over 100,000 photographs spanning 70 years. Did y'all hear me? 70 years. And as he's a director of Onward, an online teaching platform, Dr. Feinberg has created more than 30 courses and provides an extensive library of educational materials for dentists. As always, it is a pleasure to have him for us on Cold Press Conversations. I also have, I told y'all, I'm just elated to have, on October the 2nd, I will be having Dr. Frank Douglas. He has an MD and a PhD. I talk about innovations of medicine. I got to explain. Okay. All right. So we're going to just hold tight on him. He has something in his pocket that a lot of people really don't realize. And I was trying to populate something for you, but internet's not being very kind today. But Dr. Douglas, let me tell you, he has so much. He holds a PhD in physical chemistry and an MD from Cornell University. He did his internship and residency in internal medicine at the Johns Hopkins Medical Institute and a fellowship in neuroendocrinology at the National Institutes of Health. Yes, he is something else. He is also a founder and first executive director of the MIT Center for Biomedical Innovation, professor of the practice in the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Sloan School of Management, MIT Departments of Chemistry, Biomedical Engineering, and the Harvard MIT Division of Health Science and Technology. He holds 3 decades of experience in healthcare, pharmaceuticals, and he is also an entrepreneur. Dr. Douglas led clinical trials, presented on healthcare disparities at Roche Pharmaca in UK, and he also conducts workshops, case study presentations at HBCUs. So we have a wealth of experience with Dr. Douglas. He is the CEO of Safe Haven Dialogues, and he's authored 2 groundbreaking books. So it is my pleasure to present to you Dr. Frank Douglas. He is going to be shining on October the 2nd. On October the 9th, I have Dr. Mixco. He focuses on integrative medicine approaches. Y'all, I'm telling you, what he does is incredible. Okay. Um, he has a book that he focuses on because let me give you a background on Dr. Mixco. He's an esteemed board certified neurologist with a sample and ample background in the field of neurology. He was born in El Salvador. He embarked on his academic journey. He's dedicated to advancing his expertise by honing his skills through a fellowship in neurophysiology, ensuring that he remained at the forefront of neurological advancements. Since 1988, Dr. Mixco has been in private practice, serving the Central Florida community with being dedicated to clinical excellence. He and his wife have actually worked on a book called One-Handed Non-Traditional Expression for Patients who had a stroke. Yes. And this person that I have, which will be coming up on October the 16th, as I told you, I'm just bringing to you some people up front who are kind of like have the same kind of theme for right now. And this is the last person I'll be sharing with you. As I stated, I have plenty other people who will be coming out all the way through December. But I have Dr. Tom Ingegno, and he gives a wealth of information. I like him. He's from Maryland, y'all. He's with acupuncture and traditional science. And one thing that I do enjoy about Dr. Tom, he really focuses on looking at uh, the integrative medicine. When we speak of ancient healing, he's an author of two books, but one of the books that we do focus on is called the Cupping Book, Unlocking the Secrets of Ancient Healing. Dr. Tom owns and operates Charm City Integrative Health. He is a multifaceted clinic, and also a New York Times bestseller. Um, and a futurist, David Hull, called The Future of Medicine. He provides a multidimensional approach to reducing inflammation, improving circulation, regulating the immune system to help people thrive. And with his East Asian medicine, he has served as chair of the Maryland Board of Acupuncture. And his professional passion is to help patients and like-minded the practitioners themselves, to develop their no-nonsense practices to allow people to maximize their health. So I am pleased to give to you these individuals that I have. I have six of them that I wanted to give to you that have some similarities that I'm elated to share with you in regards to what's happening. So let me go back to the three sections. So the reason I did those six is because we're looking at how they're empowering the community for holistic health. We're focusing on how our community can embrace this holistic approach to health. A lot of people are not familiar with functional or integrative medicine. And that's one of the key things that I want the community to understand. Because as a patient, a lot of the physicians are now hiring people to come in who have that skill set of functional integrative medicine, or the physicians are going back to school to get more education on integrative medicine because they want to treat the whole person, not just the physical. They want to treat the mind and the body, but also the spirit. So they can take these steps to produce a whole well-being so we can understand not just the physical symptoms, but also understand our mental and emotional health. So that's the reason why I wanted to bridge with these six persons that we have that are coming up from September and October, that we can discuss and offer practical ways for community members to advocate for their own health and their wellness. I will be going into the other forms of wellness just slightly. The other practitioners that and health care workers that I have will be focusing on the whole community as well, but we will talk about some training and education, discuss comprehensive health care so that we can look at the basics of nutrition, exercise, and how to access mental health resources. We're also going to be focusing on career shifts, how some of the practitioners that we have in the community for our fall 2024 cohort, looking at the impact of what's happened to them and how they made the shift because they wanted to focus on health of their own selves and their families, where it made a change. They made a profound change into who they are. And it allows them to see whether or not, hey, I'm seeing that I had to make these changes so that I can make these changes to make sure that I'm accessing the appropriate care for myself and my family. And it's going to be very, very enlightening. When we speak of the whole patient, though, I'm going to go back. I told you I just wanted to give you a brief insight. When I speak of the whole patient, and that's what we're going to be focusing on just to end us out, is that we're exploring how clinicians and the healthcare professionals have adopted a comprehensive approach to treatment. I want you to consider some of the strategies and some of the ways in which these clinicians and healthcare practitioners are focusing on these particular strategies, are helping us understand our community so that we can have an opportunity to apply the things that they talk about to our own wellness journeys. And just think about the broader aspect of holistic care. They're going to be talking about practical strategies for integrating it, such as patient engagement techniques, how you can benefit from working with interdisciplinary teams. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking at those who have the clinics in the community can gain even a deeper insight to help their communities understand what fostering a holistic care initiative is and how it embraces their community. So that's one of the reasons why I had to come to you today to just give you a little insight about understanding the whole patient. So when we think of the whole patient, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to consider some of the things and some of the concepts that they've had, and like I said, I'm just elated they're here with us, and they gave us an insight. There is something I do want to share with you that I think will help you understand a little bit more. I do have a clip. All right, so give me just 1 second. This clip is pivotal. Okay, it's really pivotal, and it talks about it's going to give us a little insight about geriatric emergency care. And it has come from someone who has an education background, who works out in the field. Um, she will not be shining next week, but she will be shining for 2 weeks. And I just thought I'd give you just a little insight of who she is, and one of the key focuses. And it gives us an insight for us understanding how we look at our healthcare. And I'm elated that I will be sharing that with you. But as always, I always like to give just a little insight. It's just who I am. I like giving just a touch of an insight to everyone. Let me go ahead and see if I can populate it. Oh, it didn't do it. Okay, here we go. The clip that I will be showing to you will be with Dr. Megan Corry. Well, I would like to show it to you. Here we go. Let me see. Dr. Megan Corry and I had a wonderful conversation.
Was the geriatric patient through the emergency department. One of the special areas is in discharge planning. So when they have discharge planning, they're getting ready to discharge the patient. This is where EMS comes in. You're the only ones, I keep saying this to students, you're the only ones who have been in that home, that when they're in the hospital, you know, you're essentially, when you arrive in an ambulance at a hospital, you're arriving at an MCI. That's what a hospital emergency department is. It's an MCI. The person that greets you is called triage. So there's a hint that you're walking into an MCI. So it's super critical that you bring all of the information, the social, environmental, even if the patient's critical. When people say, oh, the patient was critical, I didn't have time. Yeah, you do. You have 9 people on your scenes half the time now. And even if you don't, someone has the wherewithal, especially once you get experienced in EMS, to be able to do the critical management.
All right, I had to give you a little insight. I would love to have given you a video for every person, and maybe I can do that, just kind of leading you up to it. But I wanted you to get a hint of Dr. Megan Corry. She not only discussed the who brings you to the hospital, she talks about how it affects you and what goes on. So she gave all three, y'all. So that's the reason why I had to give that to you. Before I leave you today, I do want to let you know that I always believe in giving a mini assignment. It's just who I am. I'm a teacher by trade. Okay. I was in education for 22 years in the classroom, and I work outside too. Just finished helping out for something else. But I want you, as a person who we're looking at as a whole patient, I want you to reflect on your personal growth. And when I say that, I'm encouraging you to reflect, looking at your personal growth of how you're becoming more cognizant, more aware of being a whole patient, such as creating your own interdisciplinary team, making sure you have your appointments, and that you're learning more about your own health. Do you look at your numbers? Do you have a true discussion with your physician? Are you visiting the dentist? Have you had your latest mammogram? Question yourself. See whether or not you are looking at yourself as a whole patient. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me live on Cold Press Conversations, and may you have a wonderful day. This is always to your health and to your cognitive happiness. Don't forget to join me next week for our first guest, Dr. Sonick. Enjoyed this episode of Cold Press Conversations. If you love this episode as much as I did, I need you to head on over and subscribe so you never miss an episode. This is Dr. Jewel signing off to health and cognitive happiness.